Yo, good morning. You guys can please like the video, I'd appreciate it. Really would. Igor, Will, Cloud, JH, Yusuf, Ravi, Oki, what's up? I am trying to get one of these to work, and I don't know what's going on. I can't get my... Can I get one of these things to show here, please? What the hell's going on? Well, bear with me. OBS is not helping right now. Give me 1 second here. I just gotta sign in my account. Well, this is the issue with YouTube. YouTube is so much more difficult to work than Discord. Alright, we should be back. Let me get up the chat here. Screen good? Can everybody see everything? That way we can kind of get into this. Green's up. All right. Awesome. So, remind me, charter members, if there's a news event driver today or if one released. I believe there might have been one earlier, or there might be one later today. But I want you to observe, if you're just joining, please like the video. I really appreciate it. I know I have to say it every day, but it does really help the stream. If you look at the weekly forecast and everything that we talked about, everything's been playing out into basically expectations. So we've been looking at lower prices. We've been anticipating lower prices, looking at that idea of intermarket relationships, looking at the SMT and the higher time frames between ES and NQ, looking at the higher time frames on NQ and anticipating that we should see lower prices out of it. And that's what we've gotten out of it. And it's very nice to see so far. If you watch the daily logs, those are going to be a little bit more explanation over what you should be looking at going into, let's say, today's session. So on the daily time frame here, we have a order block that's resting right there. So we've rejected away from this premium sell side imbalance. We dropped lower. We closed beneath this up close candle that creates your bearish order block. So we'll see if today, if we want to retrace into that. It doesn't have to, but that would be a good confirmation that price would really want to send price lower. Does it have to go up into this bearish order block in order to send it lower? No. Why? Because lower time frames it might be met with an inefficiency or an area beneath this order block, and it may send it lower if it's in a hurry to get to, let's say, this low. But overall, what I'm looking at is I do believe price may want to revisit or get into this order block before sending it lower. So if we were to be looking at this today and looking at the session, then I would be anticipating price would want to get up inside of this bearish order block here. So if we're looking at this on like a 4-hour time frame or something like this, that means that I may anticipate price to return into this inefficiency that's resting right here. So even though there's not an order block on a 4-hour chart, there's the inefficiency that's resting right here. Now, again, if price is in a hurry to get somewhere, it's very much in a hurry to get somewhere, then it's not going to get into that daily time frame bearish order block, which is right here, this red shaded box. It may never get into this inefficiency that's resting right there, and it may just keep really trying to sell off heavy. We'll see. But since we're reading narrative and since we're reading higher time frames and what price should be doing, if price is really going to send it lower, there might be a probability that price may want to send it into this order block and into this inefficiency before going lower first. So that's something I'll be watching today in basically the session and seeing how we trade. So if price starts to spool off lower, meaning it really starts to drop lower, then I'm going to anticipate that it's going to leave this as a breakaway gap. It's not going to return into the daily time frame order block, and it's going to keep really moving lower. How would you know that? Well, speed. I think there's a lot of variables to that. It's not just a one solution answer, but I would let you all know if I'm thinking that, and I would go off the idea that that's going to be a breakaway gap up there. It's not going to return into the order block on the daily time frame, and then we just continuously press it lower. Now, where would I be looking at to target? Well, you have to have an idea, a destination. These relative equal lows here caught my eye yesterday, and now we've created even more liquidity underneath that low. So that would be the first target, and then that inefficiency there catches my eye, and even the low underneath here would be the final destination. So if you plot the new week opening gaps and all that good stuff, we have a new day opening gap here. I know somebody mentioned at the beginning of the stream about the hourly sell side imbalance that's resting here. Again, that goes along with the idea of what I'm just talking about. If price is in a hurry to get somewhere, then it may not return. Where's the daily time frame order block? It's above this high here. So if it's in a hurry to get somewhere, then it may not. If it's in a hurry to get somewhere, it may utilize this and not get above that high. But if we do see it going into that order block, then it's going to disrespect this inefficiency, and it's going to run higher, run above this high here. So based off of what I'm seeing, I do believe that's probably going to happen, to be honest with you. We've taken out this low. Oops. We've taken out the low here. We've left buy side liquidity. These are relatively equal, but I'm going to just point out that high right there. So my focus is going to be on 21,451. If you're just joining the stream here, if you can like the video, I would appreciate it. Only at about 35 likes. If we can get that to 100, that would be great. Meaning minutes later. Okay, I got you. Thank you. I'm going to try my best. This is may upset people. I'm going to try my best. I caught myself yesterday, and I do this a lot because I enjoy teaching and I enjoy talking, but I'm going to try my best to kind of revert back to what I was doing really privately last year with like Discord. Is I don't talk as much sometimes when I was with them. I would kind of just chill and concentrate, because at times yesterday I was really trying to teach what price was trying to do or why I was trying to do it while I was trying to trade, or at least trying to read the markets. It's very difficult. It's very difficult, especially if I do Robins this year. It's going to be a lot less talking during live streams, a lot less teaching, and that's what the daily logs are for. I can teach so well, and people sleep on these things. A lot of you are in here that watch these live streams, even for last year. You never even watch the daily logs. If you want to learn what my thought process is and going over the things that I truly do believe in this market and how I read it, watch the daily logs. Yes, they're 15, 20 minutes long, but those to me, and it's not trying to brag, if I had that when I was beginning, which ICT did for us, but even like a more refined version from myself, that would help me so much. And I always try to put myself in the shoes of somebody who's new, and I try to educate that way so it makes sense to them. They're so slept on. It's ridiculous, man. And I've stated this last year. I'm never going to change my ways. I'm never a person to really make clickbait shit. I don't care for it, because all it attracts is a terrible audience. I don't want that type of audience. I want people who are hard workers who actually want this. If you watch those, I guarantee you're going to make progress. I guarantee it. Guaranteed. If you actually put in the work and you watch those daily logs, you will make progress. There's no doubt. At least as far as reading technically, you will make progress. There's not a doubt in my mind. So I have to emphasize it because if you compare the views, it's so little. It's honestly ridiculous, but not the point. I don't know whether to take that as a compliment or not, Jafar. No, I appreciate. I know what you mean. I mean, it's hard sometimes, man. I'm very much I like talking a lot, man. I like teaching a lot, so it's difficult, especially in a live market. But yes, I have to catch myself. It's a battle. If you look at your 15-minute time frame, we got up into a premium there as well. On the 15-minute, there's a breaker. I want you to spot that. A bearish breaker, potentially. All of this right now off of the open, this is a little sloppy. We're a bit range bound. There's liquidity on both sides. You have sell side on here, buy side above us. I'm unclear if price wants to go to that daily time frame bearish order block or not, or whether it wants to continue lower. I would just be chilling and waiting for a little bit more clear direction. Even with this drop lower, it could still drop into this inefficiency and send it higher. So JH, no, you're good, man. It's not your guys' issue. It's just mine as a live streamer. I mean, I've done this for a whole year straight now, and I did really, really well within the Discord, even compared to YouTube, because I was talking less. I was teaching less while I'm trying to trade, which that's a huge struggle. But it's also a battle between I have a lot of eyes on me and I want to entertain, but that's not the point. Yes, Will. So you have your high, your low, your higher high, then your lower low. So all of those down close candles would be your bearish breaker there. We've gone up into it. I'm just unsure as to, I mean, I'm leaning on the idea that price is going to probably send it higher, if I had to be honest. We've already dropped it lower initially before the open here. We took out the sell side. Real-time data is like $4 or $5 a month or something. If you haven't already, again, if you can like the video, I appreciate it. Only about 60 likes if we can get that up. Thank you, Rage. Good to see you in here. I remember you. I want to see if there's noise suppression or not, because I noticed on the replay, you guys hear the clicking of my mouse, and that would annoy me. Discord has noise suppression, so. So I want to see, I believe we're going to drive up into 21.394. I'm watching a seconds chart. But I'm going to be pretty careful in here. It's a little fidgety, so. What's up, Sarah? I don't know if I even said that already. Rage. Yeah, I'm back. So I'm looking at a seconds chart in here. And I want to see if this order block's willing to support price in here. And I'd be aiming at the buy side liquidity here in that imbalance and potentially that buy side up there. We have to move this a little bit deeper. If you're watching a 15-second chart, I'm watching this order block, that inefficiency there. Yeah, ES is a little bit behind. Excuse the garbage truck there. I actually may move it towards this low, this order block here, maybe the last point of it. I don't know what just happened here. Why did it just exit me out of that? Hello? I'm a little confused there. I was looking at moving my stop to this, underneath this low in here. So if I have to re-enter into it, then so be it. I was gonna move the stop there. This order block is the last point of interest in here. That's the reason why I was willing to do that, but I guess that's fine. If you guys are tagging me in the Discord, just leave me till after, please. Now I'm really just waiting. I mean, if I was still in the trade, I still think it's valid. I don't know why that moved or exited it. ES is a little bit lower. But I think it made a lower low, so I think we can still attack these highs here. Being a bit fidgety as far as the delivery of it, so I'd like to see if we can, well, that's the reason why I was willing to adjust my stop loss, but yeah, I think it just hit it before I was able to edit that. I thought I had time there. I'll be watching if a seconds charts gives me some type of entry. There was a 15-second inefficiency there. Well, everything's still the same. I just want to see if we can climb above that buy side, get above the new day opening gap, and get into that buy side there. Something like that happens to you as far as getting stopped out or something stupid like that, I mean, you just have to chill. Kind of is what it is. The delivery is a little wacky in here. It's a pretty high resistance, but we're within the macro. We'll see if that wants to start spooling off into a little bit cleaner delivery. I may have to adjust the stop again because of this delivery is a bit fidgety. These two down close candles are, or at least this down close is really the last point of interest. You get your live. Yep, I'm pretty aware of that. Thank you. This is just high resistance. I mean, after this, if it just doesn't pan out, I would be done basically for the day, or I wouldn't even try to touch this. We're just consolidating sideways at this point. I mean, oh, I got what you're saying. Oh, yeah, I must have just logged in and traded wait. I'm gonna get stopped here. There's nothing I can do about that. I mean, I shouldn't have been stopped on the first one. That shouldn't have been a second. But at this point, I'm not willing to short this with the relative equal highs where we're at. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. Why not wait till silver bullet? Because I just didn't, model wasn't there, or the model was there before silver bullet. So I mean, I'll sit here and watch it, but there's no way I'm going to be possibly shorting this with what we have above us. I mean, the delivery is pretty whack as is. ES made a lower low as well. Would I consider yesterday a large range day? Yeah. I mean, in comparison to what we've been doing, not necessarily. Large range days to me is, if you look at the last kind of week or couple weeks or month of what price has been doing, and there's a day that's just astronomically bigger, then yes, I'd consider it. I mean, where we're at is, could I see this consolidation before it happened? I don't think so. I mean, we can still drive higher. It's just these type of runs where we have a run close to a liquidity pool and then a high resistance drop, another run on the opposing liquidity pool. There's really nothing I can do about that. I still do believe we're going to run this liquidity pool. It's just whether or not I want to take the chance on it. And I still will. I still believe if something becomes valid, I'm going to take it. It's pretty wicked delivery though. It's quite fidgety. I'm gonna try this 15-second one more time, and if this doesn't work, then I have to be done for the day. Because we've dropped down, we've taken sell side, return on this inefficiency again. And I want to see if we can spool away from this or not. Where did that just go? If not, I mean, there's no way I'd be possibly shorting this, so it's just one of those situations where kind of have to give it up for the day. If it's not willing to go higher, excuse me, sorry. I just have to kind of let it go. But this down close candle, that's really the last point of interest there. If we start spooling off higher, I may add into it, depending. Yeah, it's pretty ugly, but it's really just high resistance. We get above the sell side amounts on the 1 minute. I think that'd be a good confirmation of the highs being ran, and we invert it. About to go into the hourly closure. If you notice, I'm being a lot more conscious of me talking. I can already tell it helps with me not talking. Like, well, you took some losses. That's not the point. I like the way ES is moving. Zahid, what's up? Good to see you. Why I'm biased bullish is because of the daily time frame. We still haven't gone into the daily time frame bearish order block, and I do believe that that should be traded to possibly before going higher. We don't have to. We could just run this buy side liquidity pool that's resting here, but overall I think we may return to this new week opening gap, which is where that daily time frame bearish order block is. High resistance liquidity runs are difficult to be a part of because you don't know when certain runs on stops are going to happen, like I had here, and that's just part of the process, and you just either have to be willing to re-enter in the market or you don't. So we've tapped this buy side liquidity pool. I want to see if we can have energy to maintain above that. ES is quite disconnected away from it, meaning I have to see ES start spooling higher to gravitate towards the highs that where NQ has it, or else this is just a run on liquidity and we dump it lower. So be aware of that. That's a partial, but I want to see if we have the energy. If we don't have the energy, then I won't. There's gonna be no partial. No partial. My stop will be moved. Overall, I want to see if this highs can be traded to or not. I'm looking at the energy above this high. If it maintains the energy above it, then I want to see continuation to 21,448. This inefficiency would have to respect price here or leave it open. This up close candle as well would be your breaker. Last points of interest here, or else I collapse it. New day opening gap there as well. I'm really watching to see if we have the energy to move away from this or not. I'm watching ES particularly. I'll explain it. I have my reasoning. I just don't want to lose concentration. So this bullish breaker there, I want to see it support it. I need to see it leave it. We're still within this inefficiency and still within the new day opening gap. So it's trading through the mean threshold. It's not a great sign, but I'm gonna give it a little bit of time. I'm going to collapse the position. The reason being is there's an SMT at the highs here. So since there's an SMT at the highs and we're already inside of a premium, we could have simply taken this buy side liquidity and this could be a drop lower. Now, if it goes higher, it is what it is. I mean, I made some of the money back from that loss, but as far as the overall trade idea, I mean, the premise was still the same. You can't, when people talk about losses and you talk about these concepts, there's no way in my mind, unless you're just following, and this just comes down to simply luck and probabilities. This is a valid model, what I was taking in here. It's a valid model. It's the same model I was taking in here, which is you're running out sell side liquidity with a lot of different framework, and I'll have to talk about it in the daily log. This down close candle, we had our inefficiency, you're targeting the buy side. There's no way to protect yourself from, a loss like that. You just have to eat it, and if the framework's still valid, you go back into the market like I did. There's nothing else that you can possibly do to protect yourself from that. I mean, there just isn't. High resistance is something that's very difficult to work with, and this is very high resistance. High resistance means that we're not moving in a very clean, one-sided fashion. It's very lethargic, very back and forth, having runs on sell side or buy side, things that you just can't anticipate. And, as many years of knowledge as I have, there's just no way to anticipate that. You just have to eat it, move on with it. So if you look at ES failed to make this higher high here, right? And where are we at as far as the time frame? We're inside of this premium from this dealing range high down to this low. We're inside of a premium, right? So if we're inside of a premium and we're taking out buy side liquidity within a premium inefficiency while creating an SMT at the highs, that is not a point, especially if it's not willing to move higher. That's the reason why I collapsed it, because at that point I'm not going to keep the trade on if it's just not willing to move in a clear one-sided fashion. There's an opposing argument telling me that I should not be in the trade anymore. And if it goes higher again, then I could still re-enter into it, but there's just no point in me keeping the trade on. I have to let it go. I have to collapse it, take the money, and run. Why am I trading before FOMC? Because FOMC is not meeting minutes, my friend. Meeting minutes is completely different than the actual FOMC statement. So do your research. Tom, what's up? Good to see you. I want to see if we run back to this low in here. So overall, I do believe we're going to collapse lower from here now. Since we've taken this buy side, we've returned to that premium. Now we're going to be on side order flow. And potentially, we're going to run for 21.22 and then 21.207. Remember, those are the relative equal lows down there. Tom, long time no see. Yeah, man. I mean, that's just, this process takes a lot longer than you think. A lot longer. You have to endure a lot of stuff, my man. It's as long as you keep pressing, you'll get there. ES failed to make a lower low in here. That's what I would observe. If you're just tuning in, or if you haven't already, if you can like the video, I would appreciate it. I'd like to see this as a breakaway gap here. So I believe we're going to spool off into 21.221. Tongue twister there. Yep, target the relative equal lows right down here at 21.206. Hands cold. At this point, I just don't see anything just yet that I could really work off of as far as an entry. I mean, there's second charts, but I mean, even that is right now not a whole lot. JH, yes, I would consider taking partials. That's, to me, the easiest way to find consistency. We may leave a lot of this open. It may not even give me a chance to really... I don't really like a lot of these entries. I mean, there really hasn't been much, but... $21,207 is really where I'm aiming overall. I mean, this low here, but... What's this down close candle here? Since we've been in such high resistance, it makes me quite weary to be trying to short where we're at. Like, let's say this inefficiency at So. Igor, yeah, but since we've had this drop here, there's, to me, it's going to be a deeper retracement than than this inefficiency. Could not, but my hat's hurting my head. The reason I'm not comfortable with this down here is because the delivery that we've had is not great today. So anytime you're in high resistance, even if it snaps out of it for a little bit, you have to be cautious of it. We're also at a discount down here. So from like this dealing range high to low, equilibrium is sitting here. So do we want to return into that is the question. You do have your bearish breaker that's resting right here. So if we see a reaction off of it, it could be a good sign. Zach, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Thank you. Hope you're well. Immediate rebalance on the 15-minute. It's getting a little weird. It would have to start spooling off lower, like in here now. Would I be taking the short? I'm just not sold on it. I do believe we're going to go to 21,221 and 2106, but as far as the risk reward and trying to frame a setup, all I see right now is this 15-second, and I just don't even trust it. It's just due to the delivery that we've had today, so. But I'm going to be taking a trade and putting risk on. I mean, it's got to be something worthwhile. So watch for the drop into 21,221, 2106. Good morning, Mike, or Mick. Anytime you're in high resistance profiles, you can snap out of it for a short period of time, but then you'll return right back to it. I mean, that's what we're seeing in here. Whole morning was really high resistance. Nice little trade to the buy side liquidity pool, but it wasn't, I would say, clean. We had our drop lower. And after that, I mean, anytime you're in high resistance, you have to be very cautious of it. I still do believe we'll see lower prices. I mean, we're still semi-early in the session, and I know people keep saying FOMC. FOMC meeting minutes is different than an FOMC statement. You have to be aware of that. If we get into that area, I may try it if you're on the Discord. I may try the 1 micro. We'll see. In fact, ES did make a lower low in there, which is interesting. So if you look at the low where this is, ES made a lower low. What does that mean? It's a bullish divergence, but does that completely counter the idea of going lower? No. Just making note of it. Since we've already ran this buy side liquidity pool, I don't really favor that being traded to at all. I'm probably just gonna wait till the macro, if anything, unless something starts to pan out. Ow. I don't even really trust this run lower from here. High resistance is very deceiving. I'd be watching ES closely since it's technically the weaker one right now because it's made in a lower low. Then I want to see that press lower if I'm going to be willing to short NQ. But in this environment, it's really have to be careful, man. This is where you can just blow all your money, blow all your mental capital for the whole week. Like, well, it's already Wednesday, but again, if you see high resistance, like we saw all this morning, you have to anticipate that the price is probably going to continue staying as so. Yes, having an NOP ahead of us this week is also a problematic thing. It's the reason why ICD advises us basically to be done by Wednesday of NOP week. So, is it not tradable? Of course not. You can still trade it, but is it going to be a lot more difficult? Should you expect less perfection, possibly losses? Yes. Yeah, tomorrow is a holiday as well, or not holiday, but whatever, some off day. Yet. I don't know if the markets won't open or if they're just going to be cut short, but I know that's a day I wouldn't be trading. Even before NOP, I mean, it's not even worth it. Igor, yeah, we'll see. I mean, during high resistance, the macro is probably the best bet. That's the reason why I'm just kind of chilling. I mean, the delivery we've gotten, I'm not trying to dance with this. Even in high resistance, like, even if this still does run for the sell side, it can still run back up into this inefficiency again. Have multiple drives into it. So that there would probably key off the idea. I mean, if I had to, I'm not switching a bias, but I would like to see how we react away from this. This up close candle is your bearish order block. If people are wondering, I mean, if you're newer, in an instance like this, I'm not entering into a short. Even if I'm biased and I see an area, I'm waiting for a reaction away from it because it protects me from a potential loss. Let's make this. What color should I do? That works. A closure like that would indicate we're probably going to start seeing higher prices out of it. Again, that's the reason why I didn't do anything with it, and if I'm able to switch, then I would just switch a bias. Oh, my hat. But this is all very high resistance, man. I'm really waiting for time. I don't really want to mess with this until we get into the macro. Does it? What, cars or what, Oki? Oh, yeah, I mean, it's Florida, dude. This place is insane. I'm surprised the mic picks up on all that. If you're joining the stream, I'd appreciate if you did like the video. Don't have to, but would help. Well, as soon as it's snowing, dude, everybody just forgets how to drive. So since we're inside of this bearish order block here, that is apparent to the 1 minute. So even though we're inverting this sell side imbalance, and this previous one we got above it, in high resistance, it's so difficult to be trusting of certain PD arrays and things that happen. So I'm very cautious in this environment. And how do you know this is high resistance? Well, I mean, look at the delivery that we've had today. Nothing's changed. So, and if I had to make a case for higher prices, I just don't particularly see one currently. I mean, we've taken the buy side liquidity pool here. That was inside of a premium. We've dropped lower. Can it do it? Sure. But currently where I sit, I mean, I'm just kind of neutral. Time, if you let time do the work for you, it'll help you a lot. So I'm just looking at the clock going, well, about 10 minutes there's going to be a macro. I'll see what price is giving me by then. If it looks clean, then I would execute on something. If not, then I'd just be done for the day. It is what it is. Juliana, what charts do you use for analysis? Every single one of them. As far as like, well, okay, I see your question. I thought you were talking about time frames. Yeah, I mean, I use dollar index, bonds, yields, foreign exchange, and yes, NQ and ES together. Those two down closed candles would be your bullish order block there, plus your inefficiency. Am I stating that we're going to go higher? No, but you're reading price. You just want to read what price could react off of, could not react off of. If you look here, we got on the mean threshold of this order block, this down closed candle here. Rejected away from it. Came back into this inefficiency, this down close candle. We could reject off of it, go higher, but on the 5 minute, the opposing is we've returned into this premium here and into this order block. So I'm honestly unsure as to what price is trying to seek. So I'm just chilling, waiting really for time. And if it doesn't give me something clear, I don't have to force something today. Even though I took a loss and then got some of it back, I don't. But at the end of the day, all of us are just risk managers. That's all you can do at the end of the day. As much as anybody would like to say differently, that's all you can do. You manage your risk, you manage the amount of positions you put on, the amount of money that you're willing to risk. And if you don't have some type of game plan going into the day, like, look, I'm going to risk this amount of money, I'm going to take this X amount of trades, well, then you're just doing absolutely nothing. You're just driving blind, no game plan, no roadmap, no GPS. And you're just saying, you know, whatever comes my way, I'm just going to execute on it, and I'm going to, I'm going to keep trading until I feel satisfied or I blow my account. I mean, that's just not a way to trade, man. When we talk about abundance mindset and abundant opportunities, I mean, I don't have to trade today. If I don't see something that's like, okay, yeah, well, I can really frame something. I can frame a good risk reward. I can frame a good setup with good logical confluences. It's just not worth it. If there's too many opposing arguments, then I don't want to be a part of it. And if I don't trust the delivery of it, I don't want to trade it. So let's see if we can start to see a move lower or not going into this macro, about 5 minutes or so. I'd like to see what ES has to offer or not. I'll go with, yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I harped on last year. I mean, I'm trying to be a lot more chill this year as far as talking, because I do that a lot. I just really want to trade. It takes away my concentration, but psychology is the number one factor in being a profitable trader and non-profitable. It doesn't matter how well you are as technical. I mean, you're always going to make mistakes. You're always going to take losses. It's part of the process. And it still hurts. Even 7 years into it, every time you take a loss, it still hurts. But just like a boxer, somebody that trains themselves to get punched in the face, you do get better at taking them. But getting punched in the face, it still hurts. It's just you get better at the reaction towards it. It's like, okay, cool, I took a loss. Yes, it's normal. Or whatever it may be. I mean, even taking a win, how you react to those wins. I mean, if you get really giddy and, you know, excited like a child, I mean, that's not good either. You should be proud of yourself. Look at the things you did right, but I mean, at the end of the day, your trades don't remember each other. Your last loss doesn't remember the next trade you take. Your next win doesn't remember the next trade you're going to take. They don't remember each other. You only remember it. That's the only difference. Simo, last night could not sleep after getting 6 losses. Yeah, and this is why, you know, having a max amount of trades that you're willing to take in a day, or just a max amount of loss that you're willing to take in the account, that you know that, okay, at the end of the day, if I got away from these charts, yes, would I be upset about it? Yes, but it's not devastating. That's not something I'm going to think about, you know, all day long. You have to have that threshold, man, or else you're going to lose yourself. And you have to think, when you're over trading, you're doing all these things, like, reel yourself back out. It's January 8th of 2025. You have the entire year. But it comes down to patience. If you don't want to sit, work your way back through the loss, through the drawdown, all those things really comes down to patience and having a very short tunnel vision view. Like, man, I got to get it back today. I have to do it today. You don't have to do anything today. Whether you make the money back today or, you know, tomorrow, or even a week from now, it doesn't really make a difference, man. Apps, what's up? I hope you do too, man. Appreciate you. Are you very picky with your setups? Yeah, I'm, of course. I have standards and things that I look for, and if I don't see the things I'm looking for, I'm not going to take it. I think everybody should be picky with their setups. You should have standards. Much like even in your dating life, you know, if you're a guy, you're not just gonna. I'm not looking for one night stands with these charts. I'm looking for, well, I'm looking for marriage for a very short period of time. I'm not trying to bang a 3. I'm trying to bang a 10 for a short period of time, get my money in and bounce. Like, all in here, it's just something that I can't frame risk. I don't really have the idea as far as which side it wants to really go to be honest with you. And the delivery is just not there. The delivery so far today has shown me that it's high resistance, it's low probability. I'm going to have a difficult time being a part of it. So I just have to either wait to see what, this macro, I'm waiting for time to see if it loosens things up and gives me an idea, or I just sit and do nothing for the rest of the day and I wait for Friday technically. Like, that's... If I was trying to force something in here, I'd feel like an idiot. Even with 200 people watch, I mean, even if I was by myself, I feel like an idiot. Could I look at this and frame I could frame both sides right now. I could frame a bear side right now. I could frame a bullish. I could frame them both. Kiko, no, I do not. Nico Bentley, I think I remember your name. Yes, I'm back on YouTube, unless I'm on Twitch or something. So we're moving into the macro, so we'll start to see if this gives some life to price or not. I may have to put a little cheat sheet up. I have to make like an overlay, but I don't really put inside of the boxes anymore of like what things are. And so I know if you're a newer student, it's going to be confusing, but I have color coordinations to what certain PD arrays are. But that's not really what live streams are for. I mean, you should be coming to live streams after you've learned ICT and you're trying to gain an understanding to a certain extent. Your stream is lagging a lot. Uh-oh. It says the stream health is good. Let me know if that's happening for anybody else. Stream is fine. It says the status is fine. So the end of the macro is at 11:10. So we may find some life to this high up here. Natalia, what's up? Good to see you. I remember you. Accidental, yes. Of course. This is high resistance for you. It's very back and forth. Deeper retracements than anticipation. Talia, very good here. Very, very good. I mean, this is just all high resistance, man. It's... I could see the idea of running higher, but it's really reluctant to do a lot of things today. It's whether or not I just really want to put money behind that. It would need to start finding some legs higher, like quickly, soon. The reason for that is we've already reached into this inefficiency. We've already moved away from a discount down here, and we spooled higher, creating relative equal highs. So since we've done that, that's why I'm saying, and start within a time, which is the macro, it needs to start finding legs higher. I like this 15-second. I'm going to do a short amount of risk because it has to find its legs now. If it's going to do it, then it's going to be a short amount of risk. I'd like to see if it would travel to this high up here overall. So I'm really just timing it. I mean, but it's going to be high resistance. That's the reason why I'm doing such a short stop loss. I'm not trying to risk too much in this overall after today so far. ES is still maintaining higher prices, which is good. But it really needs to start finding legs like shortly here. I'm not saying that because of emotions, I'm saying that because of technically and the time. We're taking a whole lot of time here. I mean, it's got to do it shortly here. We just opened up a new hourly candle. I like 21,406 as well, but whether or not we do that today because of a NFP or possibly FOMC meeting minutes later, I mean, but if you look at the hourly, it's kind of disgusting. I'm probably going to get stopped, if I had to be honest. I mean, it's a very short amount of risk, but there it is. No. I can move my stop, but I'm just not willing to sit through any more of this. I mean, what is proven today is very high resistance. There's an inefficiency here on the 5-minute. I'll probably want to get into that. Am I willing to sit through a bunch of chop and bullshit? No. So. I'm going to adjust it right here just because that's where that low is. So we'll see. You have another order block, which would be propulsion here. But this is a good lesson as far as high resistance. I mean, it's a very difficult profile to work with. Very, very difficult. So there's that. That's as much as I'm willing to do today. If it's going to be high resistance like this, it's just not worth the mental capital. Like that's it. So I think that's going to be it for me. I mean, we'll see. Tomorrow there's going to be a holiday or whatever it's going to be with president, something like that. And then Friday is NFP. So, I mean, overall today's you want to study high resistance, hard condition. But if you're trying to go back in over and over again in these environments, you're going to get your ass handed to you. So that's going to be it for me. We'll be back Friday then, if tomorrow's going to be a holiday. So I'll catch you all then. Peace out.